Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John. Today I'm doing a long-term review on my Husqvarna 350S, FE 350S. 350. I love it. It's been a great bike. I'm going to go for a little ride today as I talk about it. Especially on a day like today where it's nice outside, I'm going to ride right from my home up to a little bit of trails and mountains. And I haven't been riding as much. I've been riding the hard enduro over there. I kind of got bit by a two-stroke bug, and I still am, but a day like today I don't have time to haul up to the mountains and come back, but I do have time to just hop on for a little buzz up to the riding area. This is going to fit the bill. So pros and cons to everything, but I still like my 350. So let's ride. Today, to be out here riding the Husky, and the nice part about a enduro, it's plated, so I can just ride it from my home right up to the trails. So that's always nice. Don't have to worry about a moto tote, trailer, or anything. I'm just going to start it and ride. Way out of town here. How many miles do I have on this bike? I think I have around 2,500. You know, that doesn't sound like a lot of miles, but I would say those miles have not been easy miles. Most of them have been trails. So, you know, that's something. It's different than just grinding them all out on you know, pavement or something. But anyway, the bike has taken everything I've thrown at it. I've had zero problems. I'm happy to report. Yeah, nothing. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, so this is 22. It would have more miles, but I got my 300. And I just started putting the miles on that like crazy. And otherwise I would have been riding this more, but this is pretty comfortable to ride on the highway. I have a Scott steering stabilizer on it. The BRP setup for that. It's a sub mount, so it's under the handlebars, but it just feels real stable on the highway. And I don't mind driving it on the highway. This motor isn't quite up to temp. I'm not going to wring it out on the highway. Nobody's behind me. Just such a nice day to be riding. So those, you know, if you're watching this, you know how good it is. So I mean, we all can agree just how nice it is to ride on a day. Oh man, the weather's cooperating. It's in the 60s, not freezing to death like usual. Pacific Northwest, half the time you're in inclement weather, but today it's a nice day. I can still see snow in the mountains. It's probably not showing up on the video, which is why I'm not on the 300, and that's why it's nice to have something that's street legal. You can ride at lower levels if you need to, and if you get to where it's too sketchy, you just turn around and drive home. I'm running the tires on here, golden tires, intermediate hard golden tires, GT33 back, and the 216 front. I like those. They hold up decent. I can burn down a little pavement. They don't melt. So I like those. So that guy, I could tell he was slowing down. He had his blinker on. But years ago on a motorcycle, I learned, like we've all heard it said, you know what a blinker means? It works. I always love that. It doesn't mean they're turning, but it does mean their blinker's working. It could mean they're turning, but I always like to correlate that with loss of speed, and it looks like they're going to commit to a turn. Okay, so here I am buzzing along, you know, 55 miles an hour. And there's some vibration in the seat, but I've got brand new knobby tires on here. And so I'm comfortable on the highway. I don't mind this, but I wouldn't buy a 350 to burn up the tarmac. There's probably, you know, like the 890 or another bike like that would probably be a better choice. Tenere 700, Africa Twin, or some other bike. But you know, I'm comfortable. Here I am, almost 60 now, and the motor's revving, but it's not like I'm bringing its neck. But when I want to ride from here to the coast, you know, an hour there and back on pavement. Probably not. It wouldn't be my idea of fun. But I mean, it still would be fun. But I like to take just enough pavement to get to where this turns to gravel, which is what we're gonna do. So I'll tune in when we hit some gravel. I got about, I don't know, I suppose 5 minutes of this. The 350 was the sweet spot for me. I went from a 350, KTM 350 back in 2016 or so. Then I went to a KTM 500. I drove that a few years. Then I went to a 690. Really enjoyed the 690. It was a handful when I was on single track, but I enjoyed it. Loved that bike. And most of you know, I went to an 890. And then I kept the 890. And then sold my 690. I went back to the 350. And then now I have a two-stroke 300 that I ride a lot. So in my preferred bikes now are gravel on the road from the ice. I gotta watch that. My preferred bike now is a 300 or a 350, which is weird because I always liked big displacement bikes, lots of power. But I can honestly say that I prefer these smaller displacement bikes, unless you're going to be going long distance on tarmac. Then having that overdrive gear to slip into and be able to cruise, I think, has value. But for little jaunts I do, I'll ride on the pavement maybe a half hour to get to some trails, and then, you know, gravel road and single track. This is what I enjoy. So that being said, it surprised me that sometimes the most enjoyable bike is a smaller displacement bike. And the new bikes, KTM's, Huskies, they're not like, and other manufacturers as well, they're not like the bikes when I was younger. When I was younger, if you didn't have some CCs to move that bike, they could be a little sluggish, a little doggy. But these new bikes, they make good power, even in a smaller displacement. So, I mean, this thing, if I rev it out and go, it'll move. No, it's not a 690 or a 701, but it's no slouch. And when you're off-road, it's plenty of power to get the job done, and it's a little easier to keep traction. Best part about an enduro ride here, I'm on pavement, and then here we go. The best part, you hit gravel, and I don't really slow down at all. Probably need to slow down for this corner a little bit. But look, now this bike just feels, oh man, it's loving it. I can hang the back end out a little bit. It does not mind. And I'm still cruising at 55, 60. Unless I'm heading into a blind corner. Now this bike feels comfortable. The tighter it gets, the more it just feels comfortable. This is some loose gravel. Looks like they recently kind of spread it around a little bit. There's a little bump. I can loft the front end over a chuck hole and didn't even feel it. The stock suspension, it's been good to me. I'm up the upper end of what one should have for the stock suspension, you know, 185, 190 pounds, but it's been good. I haven't had a problem with it. As far as, doesn't bottom out, doesn't feel harsh, doesn't feel too soft, doesn't feel too hard. So I don't know, it's so much fun to just ride even on gravel roads, which might be all I have time for today, but you can see we're moving towards the snow in the mountains over there. Bit of a blind corner, so I've saved my life many times on this by hugging the inside and having somebody blow around in a beater car that was in a sideways drift. And we're not talking about Tokyo drift. Kind of more like redneck drift. That bike feels good. Really good. It just, I don't know, if I do have a front tire or a rear tire break loose, I kind of know what it's going to do. I guess part of that's the tires, these Golden tires, but a lot of it is the balance of the chassis. I've been really pleased with this. I'm just like, here comes someone, and we just can point our bike right where we need to be, and I do feel more comfortable now. Oh, there's a little bank of snow right there. Feel more, see it? You just gotta plan on people taking up the whole road up here because they don't expect some fool on a motorcycle like me coming through. I mean, this bike is so good. I can hang the back end out, come out of a corner, and it just keeps the traction down. And 350 cc's just gets the business done. Here I am hanging to the inside in case I meet someone. A little loose, but 350 just handles it. I'm never out of power. If I want more power, there's always another gear to grab. If I want to break the back end loose, I just feather the clutch a little bit and out it goes. So I mean, it's really a nice balance of power. I should start a 350 fan club. And like I said, I was more of a displacement guy for years. No replacement for displacement. That was with bikes, I was kind of like that. I wanted to be able to torque out of a corner, not shift as much, but I've changed completely. Because this thing just, you know, there may be a displacement for displacement, and it could be revs. I don't know. Okay, one complaint. Okay, here we are. The brakes. They don't put Brembo brakes on Huskies as far as I know. It's, I don't know, KTM brake or a brake tech or something. I don't know. You guys, I'm sure, would know. And it's not as good as the Brembos that I've got on my 300. My 300, that front brake is like butter. You can modulate that brake. I mean, I don't know. It's strong. It's powerful. Not too powerful. I can tell right where it is. The front brake on this feels numb. It works. I've never had it not be there. Wow, there's some stuff going on up here. This is something. This is really something. But anyway, well, it looks like we had some downed trees. Wow, a lot of downed trees. Holy cow! I've not been up through here in a while. Okay, we're just gonna slow it down a little bit. I like the smell of wood. You can tell they were cutting on those, and it smells good. Wow, there were a lot of downed trees up here. But anyway, going back to the brakes. Yeah, not my favorite, but they aren't bad. I mean, maybe their thought is they want to give you a brake that isn't going to lock up on some downhill, and I don't know what the thought process is. Why the 300 gets the KTMs get some of the Brembos and the Huskies get something different. Wow, this is something up here. But yeah, the brakes, and again, they're adequate, and I wouldn't have even complained, except I've been riding my 300 more, and I got on this today, and I'm like, well, where are my brakes at? Where are they? And this is the way they were new. It's not like I need to bleed them or freshen up the pads or something like that. This is the way they've always been. See, like right there, I got back on the throttle, hung the back end out a little bit, and the chassis just feels good. This bike's just a little ripper. But going back to the brakes, yeah, you know, it'd be nice to have some Brembos. Would I swap them out? I might. I mean, if I were going to drive this bike all the time and didn't have my other bike, I suppose I could see swapping them out and, you know, doing that. But, you know, sometimes in life, something's working, it's adequate, and you just leave it alone. So, in this case, that must say that they're adequate, because I don't have any plans to upgrade. See, but these gravel, I could just throw this bike through here, and I feel like I'm a super rider, and I'm not. I'm probably your average rider. I can do most things. I don't wreck much, but put me on something crazy technical, I'll probably struggle. I can't believe all the down branches. I didn't think there was that much going on. I mean, this is crazy, the carnage up here. true track or gravel road I've ridden a lot. See, on the throttle, and it just hooks up. It's enough to get you moving, but, and again, if I want, there's a corner up here, I'll show you what I mean. If I want more power, I can shift down, so here's pretty loose, so I'm not wanting a bunch of extra power, but I can accelerate, no problem. I'm not having to shift more than I feel like I need to. I can always find the right gear. Transmission space close enough, so here, a little snow up here, that's crazy. They must have had so much. So here's a good example. Here's a little straight stretch. It's a little loose. And this is uphill, and I'm accelerating like a madman. And it's got adequate torque. I mean, I would have thought torque on a 350 would have been not adequate, but no, it's good. And I do have just a piggyback fuel controller, just one that gives it a little extra fuel, not an expensive one, just in the big scheme of things, probably a lower end fuel controller. But it's worked great. I got it from Moto. And I do have the fuel cap delete. Not fuel cap delete, ooh, this gets soft. Wow! I did not think I'd hit snow this quick. Did not expect this. And the fuel cap delete, the end cap delete on the exhaust. Wow. Yeah, I did not expect to be hitting snow. So I think, see, there's a couple branches. I just got on the throttle and hopped on over that. Yeah, there's I'm not even that high and we're hitting a little snow, but that's kind of a shaded area. Huh. Well, we'll see how far I get. Usually I can just buzz through here like I was on the other roads. This would be why all the broken branches. Some heavy wet snow. That'll take stuff down, especially when the ground's wet. Yeah, this is just kind of wet stuff up here. But, tribute to the bike, I can point it where I need it and stay on track. Huh. And it got cold all of a sudden up here. I mean, I could feel it through my jacket. "70-degree day, you don't really expect snow." Interesting. I will just slow it down for a little bit. Okay, that's opening back up. Yeah, I think the name of the game up here is going to be, if there's sun, there's no snow. If it's shaded, then there's going to be snow. And at 350, you could drive slow. You can drive it slow, you can drive it fast. I do find that it flames out a little easier than some of my bikes. I learned that you just drive it with feather the clutch when you're going slow. But, so I guess that would be one difference, but it doesn't bother me. Oh, that road's open. Huh. But 350 is precision. You can put it where you need it and ride it, and I love it. Maybe a 350 would be enough power, but not too much. Maybe that's a good thing. This gate's open. Oh, yes. Okay, this will get me where I need to go pretty quick. Get some elevation gain. What I love about a 350 is it's such a light bike. I call it my mountain bike with a motor. Is when it starts getting sketchy, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I mean, this is pretty wide track. I could do this on an 890, no problem. But when it narrows up more, and I'm worried that I might dump the bike, I'm not worried about it on a 350. I know I can pick it up. Life's gonna be good. And honestly, because they're so maneuverable, I'm usually able to ride out of whatever I'm concerned about. So yeah, I don't get nervous on trails and things when I'm on this, because it's just such a light and nimble bike. Whereas on a bigger bike, sometimes I start to sweat it. So that's one thing I do like about the 350. Just that comfort factor. We're going up in elevation. Snow really isn't changing much. Riding in the Pacific Northwest here. And see, I can stick this bike right in the line I want. Throttle on, I maintain traction. But if I want RPMs, there it goes. It's a little rocket ship. Oh, it's such a nice day. Oh, I feel so lucky to be up here riding. Yeah, I go this way. What a day. You can see the snow in the distant mountains. Watch where I'm going a little bit. Yeah, I really didn't like doing trails until I got my 350. Honestly, it kind of scared me. And fuel economy's been pretty good with the 350. I get 50 miles-ish, give or take 5 miles per hour, depending on how I'm driving, how heavy I am on the throttle, but I've been happy with that. 2.2 gallon tank or whatever it has, that'll take me most places. If I'm really worried, I'll throw a backpack on with a soft fuel tank in it. Got some low branches there, and see, I could pick a little line and hang with it. This thing just bucks on through. Want to stay in the line. Nothing to it with this bike. Never really encounter anything that is daunting. I rode this bike in the snow, and we had snow, and it was fresh, and chassis was so balanced, I could tell right where the kind of the balance points were, if that makes sense. And that to me said that was a good bike. You can ride in the snow and feel when, you know, something's going to break loose or not break loose. That said a lot to me. We're climbing a little bit here. And I like that the suspension's sprung soft on this 22 350. I don't know if they changed it in 23 and 24. Seems like they usually fiddle around with suspension settings a little bit. So here I am picking this line, and I have no problem just sticking this wheel right where I want it and then just riding. I'm not nervous about it, not worried about it. Branches and debris. Here, we may be done. The 4x4 has fallen as we go through here. These are the trees. This is steep. Well, let's see. Got through that. Tracks over here. Now, this snow is up to my gas tank on the left side of my body. Oh boy, okay. Well, let's see if I can get through this shaded. It's just letting the bike get a little speed and move it. I may take the highway back. Just wait for me to take the highway back. Once I get up to the highway, if I get to the highway. Okay, well, might get better. It's so weird. It's getting better quick now. Whew.
movie game, rather. So, this is making my point with the 350. Do I want to do this on a big bike? No. But this thing, I can slip the front end around, the rear end around. Life is good. Still making me work a little bit. Just keep enough momentum to keep it moving. We're okay. Bikes are good about balancing. Wow. I want to open this bike up, but that's the place to do it. This is like slush. It's really dense with water, and if I go off this track, this track's in a hurry. Wow. That branch is facing the wrong way. It's facing diagonally. Like this, I'm just keeping this bike moving. Slush. So maybe hitting the snow makes the point of this video. When you hit stuff that's not quite ideal on a smaller bike, you're a little more comfortable doing it. And that would summarize my feelings on the 350. Wow. It's just ugly. I keep telling myself I'm going to turn around, but now I'm close enough to where I think I want to ride it out. I'm dropping in and out of the snow, on top of the snow. Get up to this pavement, it could be worse. We'll see. Probably should be more traffic up here though. I think I hit the riding area where we usually ride at up flats. Nobody's here. Imagine that. Right, smarter than me. So here's Elk Flats. Lots of snow. I'm gonna get out of here and get to the road and see what. Oh boy. This is so. Okay. Oh. I almost went riding yesterday. I had no idea there was gonna be so much snow. So that's a benefit of a plated bike. I'll ride up here and I'll get out of here. Okay, this is supposed to be pavement up here. What's it look like? Oh boy. It's no better.
Came back. I did not expect this at all. I'm so surprised. So here I am, slush. I'm on top of snow. I'm back down to dirt on top of snow. And this bike got me in here. It's going to get me out. So it's nice to have a bike. You know you can do that. This is normally where you see me doing my single track stuff. And this is not, we're not riding any single track today. Just got to watch up here. Don't want to lose the front end for too long. I can lose it here and there, but if I lose it too long. And I'm bursting through slush. I'm on slush. I'm on gravel. I'm on slush. I'm in water. Third gear, second gear, and this bike's doing great. I can honestly say there aren't too many bikes I'd feel comfortable doing this with. But the bike's doing great. It's very balanced. It's a very balanced chassis. So even though this isn't what I expected to do today, it probably makes for a good review because it makes for the point of what you do with this bike, kind of trails and this kind of stuff where you wouldn't take some bikes. And so my long-term review is I love the 350. You know, and like stuff like this, how good of brakes do you need? Not very. But would I take better brakes if I had them? Sure I would. But if that's all I got to pick on with this bike, that's pretty good. It just makes me nervous when this snow gets up to almost to my gas tank on either side. I just oh, I thought that was a branch, but it's just a big run of snow. Maybe it was a branch. I thought I was getting ready to go over the bars. See, this is up to almost to the top of my gas tank. I know it's hard to tell on video, but this is really deep. This is where I got into trouble coming in here, so I need to get a little speed. Keep it rolling. Got over it. Dodged that branch. Get through it. Wow, that was an ugly spot. Now, would I have been comfortable on a big bike doing that? With my 30-inch inseam? No way. And this bike's been low enough for me. It's pretty high, but by the time you sit on it and the rear sags a little bit, it wasn't bad. As far as it settles into where when I'm in something sketchy like this, I can still find the ground. Because usually when I'm wanting to find the ground, it's in something that's really sketchy. I need to get the front end over that, and I could. Yeah, this is the best way to go back. The road was snowed in. I don't think this is better than the road. Whoever this was that bahawed through here did a good thing for me. So I guess my review on a 350 is it's a great bike. I've sold some of my other street bikes and things, and I still have my 300 and my 350. So I think that should tell you what I like riding. And not that I had any complaints with some of my other bikes, but 350 gets the business done when the going gets tough, just like this. This is miserable. It's so deep, I have no idea what's under there. Like there, I was in a snowbank, off a snowbank. This is a shaded area, super sketchy. Deep snow, water, branches mixed in there. As long as nothing gets jammed in my spokes, we're good. Jeez, this is crazy. A lot of water up here. Transmission's been good. I hit neutral there, but that was all me. Okay, well, we're getting out of here little by little. Getting through some of the worst of it. So now I'm having to pick a pretty fine line to get out of here, and the bike is doing it. I'm able to find that line. Sometimes I got to stand up and balance a little, but I'm not struggling. Okay, I'm glad this is opening up a little bit again. Nothing like what. So here I am going along, and I can find this line that's, I don't know, a foot or less, and I can stay in it, and this just isn't hard. You can put the 350 where you want it. So my long-term review of the 350 has been great. Now, I have known some people that have had a minor issue, but a lot of them didn't change their, weren't impressed with oil changes and that kind of stuff. So this bike, you do need to maintain it. Just the way it is. I saw another bike up here. That's cool. Oh, he's on. I think he might be on a Husky. That's cool. Yeah, looks like a Husky Killers to me. He's getting the business done. That's awesome. Good day for a ride. See Mount Hood in the background there. All right, well, that's all I got for now. Oregon Moto John tuning out. This is how the 350 runs. I mean, this has debris and junk. I'm hanging the back end out, braking out of the corners and dodging sticks and stuff. And this is what this bike likes to do. It's a do-it-all kind of bike. I mean, that's what it is, in my opinion. And you know, you're still plated. You still need to get there. This thing will get you there, and it'll get the business done. Plenty of power, not too much, but I was really worried when I got it that I was gonna not have enough power, but this thing's always had the power. And I like the front end. I can make the front end dig in a corner if I want to. I mean, I can make it bite and dig and tell where it's gonna break loose and kind of, I wouldn't say manhandle it a little, but I kind of can, and to the limits of the traction. And I like that the chassis lets me feel where that point is. Makes me a better rider than I am, for sure. As I know, when I was riding in snow, when we had some fresh snow earlier this year, I could get into a corner and I just could tell when the front end was going to slide, when it was going to completely break loose, and when it was just going to get traction. I could just feel it. And to me, that, I don't know, that says it's a good bike. And my 300, I could say the same thing about that, but you can't plate the 300, or not typically. So there's my review of the 300, long-term review. I'm happy with it. The fact I still own it says a lot, right? I haven't flipped it for a new one. I haven't flipped it for something different. I have no plans to get rid of it, because it does what I need it to do. I can get to the trails, ride a little, do what I did, and then get back out, hit pavement, pull it in my garage, and call it a day. So that's my long-term review. Some things you just want to get on the throttle and keep moving. That's what's good about this bike. So here I am in a corner, front end's getting good traction, but I could tell where the edge was. This is loose gravel, a little bit of hard pack underneath. Dump the clutch, hang the back end out a little bit. Use revs if you want revs. Use torque if you want torque. Oh man, I do love how this thing revs though. You can hear it just wants to go, and it has more. I just don't bring a bike out unless I need to. I always like to think I'm riding something mechanical and there's no need to push it to the end of its ability when I'm just a recreational rider. I mean, if I were a racer, okay, racing, that's different. Sometimes you need to, you know, use the machine up to the edge of what it's got. But for what I'm doing, I just want to have fun and don't want my bike to break. Okay, so this is super loose, then the bike just goes through it like a dart. This is a really loose corner. Watch it a little bit. But again, I'm so comfortable on this thing. It just handles it. Part of it is the tires, but a big part is just the chassis. I know what it's going to do. And I could see through those corners before I got to them. That's why I was able to straighten those out a little. When I was going downhill, I looked through all of them and there wasn't anybody coming. All right, so very favorable long-term review. Very favorable. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching. All of you out there, share it in the fun. And we'll keep it coming. Lots more riding to do. You know, good weather's coming. I'm really excited. So let's just keep riding. Be safe, but have fun and keep riding. Or two, it'd be the front brake. Give me a little better front brake, and then maybe give me an overdrive, higher gear for the pavement, because sometimes when I'm on pavement, it does get a little revvy. I can go 60, but if I get up to 70 or something, so here's 60. There's 70, and it's a little revvy. I mean, it's got more, but you can say, well, the bike's got way more RPM, so you're not maxed out. But true, but it just seems weird to rev it. So here I am at 70 or so, and it's just, I don't know if it shows up in the video or the sound, but it's a little revvy. But I normally ride around 55 to 60. That's so I guess it doesn't really bug me. I wouldn't get rid of the bike because of it. And I don't really want to change the gearing because I like the low gearing on trail, so I guess it's just the way it is. But so brakes, and maybe a higher 6-gear KTM, maybe just a higher final drive for when you are burning up the pavement. But I don't know. Everything's compromises, but first world problem. It's a great bike. I'm not getting rid of mine, so that should tell you everything you need to know. All right, tuning out.